She hears only whispers of some quiet conversation. She's coming in 12:30 flight. Moonlit wings reflect the stars that guide me towards salvation.
She's waiting there for you.
So here's my replication of the Bedini Tesla switch from the Energy from the Vacuum series. That's almost a 200 milliamp load. Oh man. I made them with some recycled batteries, so these are just some used batteries that were sitting around for a couple years before I put them together into these batteries today. So they're 6-volt batteries. I'm ready. And I was kind of surprised. I don't know, some people might have noticed that he had these extra LEDs in the video that were lighting up. So I put those LEDs on here, and this one lit up instead, so. But this is a kind of a starter experimenter board, so from what I could tell from the video, the goal is to get these to flash. But this is the starting stage here. It has the jumpers in place of the capacitors like he shows in the video. In the video, he also shows a spot where there's like a 2-watt resistor in these jumper spots. That might be for bigger power to current limit for the LED. But yeah, so these are actually lithium iron phosphate batteries, which seem to work with this. And the 5th battery is just powering the control circuitry, which is optically isolated from all these batteries. So since it's optically isolated, it is no way that any of this energy can get into these batteries here. But even so, this is only 11 milliamps going from here to there to power the control circuitry. So there's a way to take this and use the other batteries to power it, or even use the output to power it. But just for starting sake, for learning, for understanding these things, it's useful just to keep it separate for now. But there's no gotcha there with this 5th battery. This is just powering 11 milliamps, which I verified, and it's not like a huge power. I did want to use this battery, but the 6.5 volt batteries wasn't enough to power the voltage regulator to output properly, so I just threw this 12 volt battery on there because it was just convenient. This load here is close to 200 milliamps, and this is 11 milliamps powering it, so obviously this could be wired in a way that it could power the control circuitry. But yeah, this is directly from what he showed in the video. Here we got the PCB traces and everything. It's John's handwriting on the board, right from the paper. But yeah, this isn't my first Tesla switch. My first Tesla switch is actually this guy here, which has been rebuilt so many times that I lost count. But this is like the original perf board and spot, not even the original transistors, because I've used so many different ones in experiments. But you know, basically this layout. But you can see this is all point-to-point wiring with a whole bunch of wonky stuff on this one from doing experiments. This one's being powered by an Arduino, but it does have the original circuit on here, which I don't know, I forgot this particular one I haven't worked on so long. I put different capacitors on it. But anyhow, to give you an idea, it's a lot of point-to-point wiring. So to have the PCB is definitely a treat. So you have them stuff. Here's like a single one where it switches the capacitors in parallel, charges up, and then switches into series and goes back to the single battery. Again, all point-to-point wiring. I've done various modules for doing different tests. These are just little opto, switching off optally switched transistor modules. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. But that and probably my most elaborate one, which I've kind of butchered since I was like almost finished with it, but this one is I butchered it to take some parts off for something because I wasn't patient enough to order new ones. There you can see it. Here's the control circuit for that. Again, all point-to-point wiring, which takes a lot of time. So to have a printed circuit board is pretty key. So I'm pretty excited to say that I'll be for a limited time at least be having these available. And do it so where you get the board, all the parts, and I'll probably do a paperwork packet with all the information, the 84 report, and all the various schematics that are in the Sajeka DVD. I don't know what I'm going to charge for the kits yet, but they'll probably be over $100 for sure, because with the parts and doing this, and there's a lot of time, and I had to pay for some programs to be able to do the boards this way, where I could use what he actually posted and not just rebuild the whole thing myself, but to be true to how he wanted us to experiment with it. So this is going to be the starting point, which playing with it last night, I started off with the batteries, one battery at that, one battery at this, one at that, one at that, and I was running the load for a while last night. I accidentally shorted out some of the batteries, trying to measure them with the test things. They're kind of close together. It's easy if you slip, you end up shorting the battery out, so it's not. I might change some of that eventually. I might spread those posts out from what they are now, but might be a good idea to maybe just get these style connectors and then just solder these wires in to connect the batteries. But anyhow, so what else? So I ran loads. I shorted some of the batteries out by accident, just trying to take measurements. Ran this 200 milliamp load, and then I shut it off, or I shut the load off, which is just not much, just making this connect or not connect. Then I left this off and had it in slow-mo. It's fastest. I don't know, the refresh rate, it looks slow on my phone, but it's flashing really fast. The flash must be pretty fast because the frame rate misses it a lot of the time, so the LEDs are only on for a real brief sec, like a brief instant it seems, just from the way it's capturing on the frame rate. what was I gonna say? Yeah, so I turned it down and I just let it run like this overnight. And when I came back, you know, it was probably like 8 or 10 hours. I didn't really take too much. Didn't take too much stuff. It was just kind of just quick notes, just out of curiosity. But when I came back, like in the morning when I woke up, this one went from 654 to 656, and this one here was just down a little bit by like 1/10 of a volt, or like a single millivolt or two. This one here went from 56 to 56 or 57.7. This one went from 61 to 63. That one's actually up to like 64. So for some reason this one's charging pretty good. But these other ones have been kind of going down a little bit, but just like, you know, just like millivolts, nothing like drastic. But you know, the whole time, even when they're charging, these LEDs are flashing, so there is some load even during that while it was gaining this. So I mean, they went up. It wasn't a huge, I think I calculated it was like 53 millivolts overall, which isn't like some huge over unity claim or anything, but it's definitely interesting because I was running a 200 millivolt load for a while last night. I shorted batteries out. This was running for hours for a while, and then I disconnected the load and just let it run, and I actually gained 50 millivolts in charge overall. So it's definitely interesting. This is just the basic start stage, so there's no like gonna be any free energy out of the box here. We gotta figure out what's going on to understand what he's saying in the video, and then figure out how to get these lights to flash. Seems to be the challenge. Is these lights have to flash, not these. But this is just to start you off, to show you. And this is also good because it kind of shows you how loading this works without the capacitors here. And I stayed true to all his jumpers, so you know, who knows if there's ways of rewiring things with the jumpers to get it to fully work. So this is all true to what he laid out. And some speaker wire and lithium iron phosphate. These are about 6.5 volts each. He says he recommends 5 volts, but these components can definitely handle 12 volts and more. Your only limitation is going to be if you're going to need heat sinks or not. He shows that later in the video, but he has them on heat sinks, so I would imagine if it's going to be a higher power system, these will have to be on heat sinks. But this is good for learning and understanding where he was going with it. Yeah, so I'm also going to have the RPX circuit PCB available too. I just have to finish building and testing that version, but I'll be having those available too. And yeah, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with it, considering, you know, I've literally, I could probably say, the past 2 decades I've done a lot of bench work and experiments, and with John's video, this is definitely more information than we've ever had. So this is definitely interesting, and not like anything I've built or that's been shown so far. So that's kind of exciting about this version, and learning about it and understanding, and next seeing what's going on with adding these caps here. What's that going to do? What's going to happen when I go 12 volts on these? But yeah, I have some other ideas that I'm going to try. So this actually makes a really good, easy experimenter type of development board. The ICs are all on sockets, so you can easily remove stuff. You could pull all the ones out on this side and just leave this side in here and see what happens with just one side going. This you could pull out and then feed in your own inputs and flash stuff if you need to. Or if you end up burning it out, it's easier to replace and having to resolder everything. Same with these. If you end up damaging them at all, they're on sockets, so you can easily replace them. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool Bedini Tesla switch. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that was all I wanted to say on that. Probably add a couple Bedini Tesla switch comments at the end of this from the video. But yeah, if you're interested, let me know. It'll be available for a limited time. I'm not sure. I got a big project coming out that this could help fund, and my channel's not monetized at all. So if you'd like to support the channel, you know, buying a PCB kit could be a way to do it. Some people asked about me making a pre-built stuff. I'll probably do that for some things, but I probably won't do it too cheap, just because it takes some time away from some other things I'm working on, and but it could also be your way of supporting my channel. So, but what exactly I'm gonna charge, I don't know yet. I want to be fair. I don't want to go crazy, but you know, there's a lot of work that's gone into this, and it is a good opportunity to kind of be able to support my personal research, which I end up sharing with you guys anyhow. So it ends up being a win-win. But yeah, that's I think that's all I'm gonna say. I'll end up doing a video for the RPX board at some point soon. I just have to order some other parts that I don't have, and I'll be showing that soon. So yeah, keep rocking on. Catch you guys soon. Peace out.
And I'm going to say right now, don't try to clip lead this circuit. If you try to do this with clip leads, you're going to fail at everything you do. And what will happen is if these batteries start to get bigger, energy circuits.
So excuse me, instead of clip leads, what should one use?
Well, it should be on a circuit board, or it should be on a breadboard that's got some pretty stiff wire on it, because you're going to lose a lot here.
Solid connections.
Right, solid connections, pinpoint connections. So we don't want to see a clip lead running from this collector to the plus of this battery, and a clip lead running from this. You can do this if you want and fail at what you're doing. Or you can do it the correct way and build the circuit like I'm telling you to. Okay? And don't make, here's the next thing with the Tesla switch. Do not make any changes because you think it's better, because you're wrong. It's not better. You get the circuit to run exactly the way that I have drawn it on the board. And once you get that running, then you're free as a person to make all the foolish changes you want. And that's just how I have to say that, because I have people call me all the time and say, well, John, I want to be able to use this. Well, no, build the circuit the way that I've shown you how to build the circuit. And then after you get it to operate exactly like it's operating right here, you can make all the changes that you want. So don't think you know anything about this circuit, because for the past 25 years you've done nothing with the circuit. Nobody's built this circuit. It just died out there, and you're all asking, well, we would like to know how to make this. And I'm telling you, here it is. This is the way you make this circuit. You don't change anything until it's operating. Everybody's going to say, well, how can we run the oscillator off this device with its own internal battery? Okay, there is one scheme that you can use, you can wait for this to switch, and then you can pick this up with an optocoupler. You can steal a little bit of this, pick it up with an optocoupler, and transfer some of that energy to your battery. So you would wait for this one side to switch, and I think it's actually depicted in this. Thanks. It's actually depicted in this drawing right here, in the original drawing, of how you switch that. So
Excuse me, this was your original drawing?
yes, the original drawing, which we'll make available so that they can get ideas from it. We're not saying follow this. We're saying go with the opto switching because it's a little bit difficult to use all these transformers and get them all phased right. If you don't phase these transformers right, then you get switching that's not right, and then you're going to come back and you're going to say, well, we built the whole thing, but it didn't work. It's because something that you did is wrong. And then you're going to write me an email and you're going to say, well, I built it and it didn't work. And I'm going to refer back to the movie and say, it does work. Because it's running here. The other thing I want to bring up is, I think that everybody owes quite a bit of gratitude to Tom Bearden for all this, because if it wouldn't have been for Tom Bearden, this whole field would have never even gotten started. Tom Bearden actually started this field by doing all the research work for everybody out there that's in the free energy community. And what I think is, in my own mind, is I would have never done this if it wouldn't have been for Tom Bearden. And everybody can say, well, we don't agree with Tom Bearden's theories, but has anybody really ever done the research like Tom Bearden? Have they done the discovery method? Have they tried the circuits, or did they change them? Well, for 25 years, the Tesla switch has been in a book. And to this day, I haven't seen any Tesla switches out there. I have never seen it on YouTube. I've never seen anybody report anything except for what's written in the book.